What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. It is Thursday, July 9th. All right, what do we have? I'm pretty sure there's no news, so let's double check really quickly. That's a big fat bupkis. All right, so we can do whatever we want. And that's basically what the market's been doing. At least yesterday wasn't super great. As always, we have MNQ on this side, MES on this side. So let's start with MNQ. So I haven't taken a trade on MNQ in a while. Wow. All right, so we are still in the range. Just hanging out in this range. They're not making, after this sweep, they're not really doing a ton of things I'm super excited about. So still have this extremeness of interest for lower. This one down here as the main draw for dropping below. We've already taken out yesterday's high, and the daily candle is still looking pretty bullish for the moment. Let's note this up. Get up there, right there. So I'm not going to do an extreme on that one since the high itself is so, obvious. We've got this previous day high. They may, if they want to continue up, can go hit. Let's make sure that's properly sorted. Zoom in. It's right there. Okay, perfect. Let's drop to the 4-hour. I hate ranges. Don't get really good follow-through price action, but so far it's looking pretty bullish since they've swept all of those lows. Right now, they've tapped into this fair value gap right here that had held price up and held it down. So I am going to note it here because these are the types of things that help me figure out what I want to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? So let's use this bullish fair value gap, make sure that we're properly situated. Pull over a little bit. All right, so of course the reasoning is we've got a fair value gap here. We've tapped it once, twice, 3 times, popped up. We dropped below, stayed below the midpoint, and then dropped aggressively from here. If we break back over above it, then these highs are most definitely in play as far as I'm concerned. So that would be my point of interest for today. Let's go to the 1 hour. All right, so on the 1 hour, we've created a 1 hour order block here. We've dipped above it, not perfectly, but I don't like that wick. But again, this is a fair value gap that I think needs to be broken in order for a continuation trade to go that way. Let's find our midnight open, and then we'll look at London and all of that goodness. So this is midnight right here. We're well above it. Lovely. Let's see, where is London? Highs, 3, 4, already taken, so we're not going to worry about that. London lows, right here, so we'll plop that right here and readjust. Okay, let's change that. Let's make that red. Lows. Alrighty. So we'll see. We've busted above here. Have we done a body above it yet? No. So the short term is bullish. So for now, we'll see what we get. Looking for longs. Previous day low is pretty far away down here. Whoops, sorry, not correct. I'll have to go back to the daily to confirm that, but this is Thursday. Yeah, so previous day low is all the way over here. All right. So on NQ for the moment, until it tells me otherwise, I'm going to be looking for longs, at least temporarily. All right, let's look at ES. Similar situation, even if the sweep of liquidity is different on ES, NQ had already swept this low, but ES only swept this one. So, and they've tapped into this fair value gap right here, and we've stayed above it. So again, we're still in a range, but ES even in the range, is a little bit more bullish. Let's see what we're working with. So previous day highs over here. So we're gonna steal this one. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and delete this because we don't need Asia. I'm gonna delete that. They're pretty close to taking their previous day high. If they do that, then I'll be more interested in shorts since it is a range, so we can move around. Oof, the last 4 hours on ES has not gone anywhere. That's kind of mean. Still bullish, but we're inside of this bearish fair value gap and they're not moving. And we're still at the top of that volume imbalance, which has been just living the dream. So we already have SMTs between NQ and MES in this case. NQ had already taken these highs out. Not the best, but they did take it out. And so we have SMTs here on the 1 hour. So we'll see. Let's put our midnight open in its appropriate spot. Just all the way over here. So we're above midnight open barely on this one. And let's make sure and line up the previous day high appropriately. There we go. London highs. We do still have those in play. I would be perfectly happy for them to sweep that out and then drop. They don't need to go back up to the previous day high if they don't want to, but that would be nice. That would make London lows have already been swept into this 1 hour order block. We don't have a juicy fair value gap that we can use like we did on NQ. Might. But I'm going to focus in on this guy. So, still bullish on both of these. But we're in a range, so we gotta wait for open to tell us what it wants to do with its life. But in the interim, in the short term, it is looking like potentially longs might be at least the play before we drop a bit lower. Anyway, as always, I need a sweep of liquidity, shift in structure, and then a second break of structure for an entry. All right, be good, be safe. Shakira out.